There have been many political, secular, religious, and rights based movements and revolutions in Pakistan since the country came on the world map. The country's geopolitical positioning, its neoliberal policy regimes, and political systems have been both a cause and a deterrent for social movements and grassroots activism. But it boasts a rich history of concrete, brave collective action, which stood against oppression and demanded freedom, accountability, and civil liberty. In this podcast series, produced under Women's Voice and Leadership Pakistan, a 5-year project funded by Global Affairs Canada to support local women's organizations and movements, we will speak with activists in the country who, through their activism, advocacy, and work, have mobilized and empowered women and fought for protection of their rights. From the Oxfam in Pakistan team, Program Manager for WVL-P, Uzma Zarrin, takes us on the WVL-P journey, making us see why this particular project is important by bringing depth and nuance in understanding the design of the project in the context of shrinking civic spaces in Pakistan, which is detrimental to critical social causes in the country, such as women's rights work and movements.
When this program was designed and executed in Pakistan, the civic spaces were not very conducive. So when this program, and especially when I joined this program as project manager, it was a matter of excitement for me because I have a great passion to work in these kind of programs. By design, it was really good, and there were three kind of broader aims or goals, focusing on mainly the capacity strengthening, not the capacity but the institutional strengthening of the very small scale emerging women rights organizations. So the first goal and the first program area was taking these kind of organization, institutional strengthening of these organizations and bringing them at par, giving them that knowledge, conceptual, technical, and also giving them an institutional system which includes financial system, reporting system, and a good policy purview, so that they really can deliver at their best while they are working on this subject matter. So the first part is this. The second part was, another important area was to focus on their programming, advocacy, and campaigning skills. So this was another good big area when focusing on these smaller women rights organizations and enabling them to do advocacy and campaigning and giving them that lens how to outreach the extended audiences beyond their 10 villages or 5 project areas wherever they are confined within a smaller district. So that actually needed their digital skills and public campaigning skills and tools. So this was a very specialized technical sort of area where not just the project team but some external experts were also desired. The third area was designed was to strengthen the women rights alliances and networks and also contribute to any shades of women's movement in Pakistan. So that third area was modestly designed, was not a claim to form the new networks but to strengthen the existing or to revitalize some of the networks which were dormant, you can say. So when this program was started, the civic spaces, as I said, were not very conducive, but we started with this operating context, and for that Oxfam itself had to bring a level of change in its own compliance standards and rules and all that, because taking this kind of organization stuff and versus our compliance, very hi-fi and sophisticated compliance standards, there was a gap, right? So first of all, the first challenge was to how to make a good gel of it, and also to have an internal buy-in and understanding what does this institutional strengthening means to us. And starting from a smaller organization, we had to really customize our frameworks, that okay, a fairly reasonable base of an organization is good to go. No matter if they do not have a very good policy preview, they must, the bottom line was that they should have something in writing as well as in some practice. So that was the bottom line. So we started with that, identifying 12 women rights organizations, and again assessment and identification was a completely long process, because it was competitive, for which that expression of interest was circulated, and through a very competitive bidding these 12 organizations were identified. And the same was with the networks and alliances, and there are 5 networks and alliances across Pakistan. 4 are in the provincial capital cities and 1 is in Islamabad.
Once the organizations were selected, the project's approach to conducting a baseline was unique. Using a tool designed by Oxfam Canada, the organizations self-assessed and critically reviewed their systems, procedures, structures, board, programming, networking, skill sets, financial systems, human resource, stakeholder management, community management, and safeguarding. The 12 organizations then rated themselves on a scale from 0 to 4, which became the project baseline. The organizations set their benchmarks and identified their capacity development needs. Based on these needs, a capacity strengthening program was set out, starting with a policy purview. Each process from the inception of the project was participatory and inclusive, and enabled organizations to prioritize their needs, set out their goals and visions, and design processes and structures in light of their own individual organizational context. We hear from Uzma how this impacted the organizations and what she feels is the biggest success of WVL-P.
You know, when this program was started, even the language was very different. The head of the organizations used to call it as our staff. They used to come and go, we can't retain them, they work in different projects. Projects come and go, so as the project come and go, people come and go. Except 1-2 organizations where the foundational, ideologically, you know, the foundation was very so strong that there, no matter the project was there or not, but there was a reasonable 3-4 people always remained with the teams, within the team. But you know, for the majority there was a very projectized approach, and this language was staff. And so you know, when we engaged with them and in this whole institutional development process, one thing which was actually changing the lingo, because this program was actually built around the feminist principles, and when we opened it up as a discourse on feminist and unpacking these principles, so the first and foremost thing was to you know, change our language. So you know, there was a concept of team, teaming, team building, women leadership, gender leadership, leadership styles, mentoring, coaching, you know, all these things, behaviors, use or abuse, you know. So these things actually, I think, contributed to bring them realize that yes, if we are able to formulate teams, when there is a concept of team, at least the spirit of the team then, you know, really deliver and contribute to build the organization. And that's my personal belief also. Because in the institutional strengthening program, actually we invest on the team, individual or a team. So if they are committed to the goal and they feel that the value system of the organization is very important for us to, you know, make and evolve a culture that support women rights. And if you know the whole team strive for that, I personally believe the organizations remain stand, no matter the projects come or go.
During the 16 days of activism, we take you on a journey to understand and celebrate Pakistan's vibrant history of women's rights activism and bring perspectives from the WVL-P team on women's collective action and agency in today's age. Stay tuned.